Hello, 7th graders! Look who I have today! My guest star is the one and only Miss Curry! Woo! So to start off, Miss Curry, what was the one time you got in trouble in middle school?
Well, I was a really good student. I didn't like getting in trouble, would get embarrassed. And I also wanted to do well, made A's all of middle school I made A's. Anyway, so my best friend had math first period and I had math 7th period. And we had ELA, language arts, together, like 5th period or something. So when we had homework, we would check it in class and then we'd get it back that day. So there was an assignment that I finished it, but I wanted to make sure I was going to get 100 on it. So after she checked it in first period, I asked her in 5th period, whatever one our language arts class was, I said, "Can I have your paper to check my answers?" So I was checking her answers with mine in class, and then my teacher, Miss Foote was her name, I remember, came up to me and took our papers up and said we were cheating, and I felt so bad. And then my friend got in trouble too, and she was mad at me for like 2 days. But she's still my friend, and she's going to be Felix's godmother, so everything worked out okay. But yeah, so don't do that. Lesson learned. Even if you finish your assignment and you're checking with someone, it's still considered cheating. There.
Unless they're there with you.
Yes.
To help you along.
Exactly.
Yes.
Which she wasn't.
Just the paper was
Just
there.
the paper.
All right. Well, thank you, Miss Curry, for sharing. It sounds like you've recovered, though. That's good.
I got a 0, by the way.
Not good.
For the assignment.
Yes. So today's lesson, we're going into 7.4D, which is all about rates and proportions, and we're doing part-to-part proportions. So Miss Curry, could you please read the first problem out loud?
Sure. The ratio of boys to girls in Miss Murphy's class is 2 to 3. There are 18 girls in the class. How many boys are in Miss Murphy's class?
Okay, so here we have a rate. We have for every 2, so the ratio of boys to girls, so we have boys to girls. And Murphy's class is 2 to 3. So for every 2 boys, there's 3 girls. We were told if we have 2 boys for every 3 girls, we know that there's 18 girls. And we need to figure out boys. Where would I maybe put the 18 if I'm going to keep the same ratio? Do I need to put it on the top or the bottom?
So there's 18 girls, and right here we have girls on the bottom, so girls are going to go on the bottom.
Perfect. Yeah, we're still looking at, we don't know how many boys out of 18 girls. With equal rates, they're going to like grow and shrink at the same time. So there's actually 2 ways to solve this. If you're seeing like how much bigger 18 is, so how many times bigger it is than 3, you can do 2 equal fractions.
Okay.
So 3 times what equals 18?
6.
6. So I'm going to make an equal rate, sort of like making equal fractions,
Okay.
where I multiply the top and bottom by 6.
All right. So 2 times 6 is 12.
12. So how many boys?
12 boys. So
12
I don't have to simplify when I'm doing this?
No, because these are going to be quantities, not parts of, not like equal size pieces. Or yeah, it's different than a regular fraction.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
The second method, though, is if I didn't see, I didn't see that there was an equal rate, I can do a thing called cross multiply.
I remember that.
So I'm going to set my cross products equal, meaning the things I multiply across equal to each other. So 2 times 18, 18 times 2.
36.
Good. 36 is going to be equal to 3 times x. What is 3 times x?
3x.
Good. So I cross multiply. Now I need to simplify my equation. So 36 equals 3x. What should I divide both sides by?
Oh, I want to have my x by itself, so I need to get rid of the 3, so I'll divide by 3.
Good, nice job. We're going to divide both sides by 3. And 3 divided by 3 is 1, so we've got 1x over here. And 36 divided by 3 is?
No, is it 12? Yeah.
Yeah.
12, 24,
Because
36.
3 goes into 6 2 times, 3 goes into 3 1 time. So still 12 boys.
Same answer.
Same answer.
And
So
I
you
could
can use
even
either
double
one.
check myself if I was unsure.
You could. So now another part-to-part proportion is similarity.
Okay.
And with similar figures, the sides are actually going to be proportional. Like they go big and small at the same rate. So here we're going to look for what is the side length of WX. So we're going to put a little X right here or a question mark. Let's do a question mark. And we're going to figure out what that is, knowing that these two shapes are similar, proportional. But before I do that, I want to make sure they're like facing the same direction, or else it's kind of confusing, right? So I'm going to redraw this as 6-inch to 18-inch.
So this one we're leaving the same.
I'm going to leave it the same. I mean, I could move this one, but I just wanted to move this guy.
Okay.
And I'm going to rotate, kind of turn this one so it's facing the same direction.
So that means my 6 will be on top.
Good. Yep. The long one is the 6. So let's put that up on top.
All right.
And then where would I put my X or my question mark?
So it's right here. So if I'm turning it this way, that's going to go to that side.
Perfect. Yep. Good job. Okay. Now that I have this set up, I'm going to have maybe like my big shape to my small shape, right? Would be my comparison. So I need to make 2 equal comparisons.
Okay. So am I doing it like we did this?
Yeah, sort of like boys to girls, but we're maybe going to have your big shape to your small shape. Big to small.
All right.
So it doesn't matter which one you start with. You just have to make sure you're making the same comparison twice. Sort of like here we did boys to girls twice. Boys to girls, boys to girls.
Okay.
Which one do you want to start with on the big shape?
I like starting with the top.
The top number?
Yes.
Okay, so let's start with 18.
Too small, so 8.
And what would be the corresponding or like the matching side on the small shape?
So it looks like it's going to be 6.
Good.
That's my longer side on top.
So my ratio of the big to small is 18 to 6.
Oh, I wrote it on my small shape. Ah, okay. Gotta remember,
18 to 6.
this is my big, this is my small.
Sort of like boys to girls, we're doing big to small.
Okay.
Now I need to make the same kind of, so here I went from 18 to 6.
Okay.
Right? So it shrunk, right? Got smaller. It started off big at 18 and it shrunk down to 6.
Okay.
Now we're going to see from 6, that's my big shape, right?
Got it.
And what would correspond or match with the 6 on the small?
So that's going to be the X, the one we don't know.
Yep. So there we go. We have 6.
Tricky. We have 6 on both sides.
2x.
So, okay. Ooh, can I try and solve it?
Yep.
Okay, so even though I have my number right here, I can still go backwards and say, my first way, how many times does 6 go into 18? Well, that's even the same right here, so that's going to be 3.
Good.
So
But this time we'd be
backwards.
shrinking.
Yes.
So how do I shrink instead of multiply?
Divide. So I'm going to divide by 3. So then for this one, if I divided by 3, 6 divided by 3 is 2, so my x would equal 2.
Good.
Correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
that way it shrunk at the same rate. It got smaller.
Okay, so then if I wanted to check with cross multiplying, I could do the same thing. I could do 6. Should I rewrite it?
It's up to you. I get confused when I have too many things going on.
I don't have a lot of space, so I know 6 times 6 is 36. 36 will equal 18x. And then I can't solve for 18, so I have to simplify. If I want to get rid of my 18, since 18 times x is multiplying, I need to divide. So we're going to divide by 18 on each side, and then that leaves x by itself, and 36 divided by 18, well, I know that one in my head, but I might say you guys might need to do it on there, but it is 2 also.
Good. And then that just kind of makes sense, right? 18 to 6, 6 to 2. Like we've shrunk it down. If you got a number like, 24, that would make sense.
So that's a good way to check too.
Yeah. I always like to just see if it makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, we have one last part to part that we learn in 7th grade, and it's called scale factor. It's like when we apply a scale, so we make things go small or make things go big.
All right.
Kind of like similar figures.
Okay.
So this one, we are looking for the actual distance from San Francisco to San Diego. I'm actually going to San Diego tomorrow. Very excited. And they're giving us a scale. So this map has a scale. And we usually will say a scale is going from model to actual, meaning your replica to real life.
Okay.
And the model is going to be...
I'm going to do fake and then real.
Yeah, fake to real, model to actual, either way, whatever helps. So we're going to say that every 1/2 inch, like on my map, on my model,
Okay.
in real life, like me driving on the road, you know, Uber or your like Google Maps does this for you, is going to be 75 miles.
Okay.
So every 1/2 inch on the map is going to be 75 miles in real life. So this is a part to part ratio, meaning for every 0.5 inch, I'm going to go 75 miles in real life.
Okay.
So part to part. Now, they gave us what information? Is this the map or is this real life? 3 inches? Am I going to drive 3 inches?
So
or
that's going to be the map. That's fake.
Yeah, that's the
Not really.
fake.
3 inches. That would be like right here. That's silly.
It would be a very quick trip.
Okay.
So we have 3 inches is my model or my fake.
Okay.
And I want to figure out how far I'm actually going to have to drive.
Because that's my real life.
Real life.
Okay.
Okay. And still, I can do the same thing that we've been doing. I can either figure out how many 0.5s goes into 3.
Okay.
And then apply the factor to 75 miles, or I can cross multiply and divide.
Okay.
Which one do you want to start with?
I like starting with
This one?
the factor. Is that what we call
Okay.
it? Yes.
Yeah.
So I know that 0.5, 2.5s equal 1. So then it would just be what times 1 or equals 3. So I'm going to do this one in my head. So I'm going to say 0.5, 1,
Mm-hmm.
0.5, 2, 0.5, 3. So
Okay.
that gives me 6.
So I can multiply the top and bottom by 6.
All right.
And just 75 times 6. Let's see if we get the same thing. I'm so bad at 7 times 6. That's
It's 42.
42
right?
plus 3 more.
It's 5. 450. Wow. That seems a little more reasonable.
450 miles.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds about right. It takes a little while to get from San Diego to San Francisco. Because that's south to north in California.
Okay, so then I would do 450 is my miles.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's there. Perfect.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, so then my other way is to do the cross multiplying. And this one takes the guessing away. So if I was on a time crunch, I would probably only do the second one because that one is a little more sure. The other one, I feel like I could mess up accidentally.
Yeah.
Doing
Just
that.
depends on the mental math
Yes.
skills, you know. So 75 times 3.
0.5.
21, 22.
Oh, 75. 150. I love it when I get this because I can just do money. So I know if I have like 3 quarters and 6 quarters, that's 150. And then if I have 75 more cents, it's 225. But I'm not going to do my decimal there.
Yeah, the only tricky about this one is we do have to divide by a decimal.
Ah.
We should remember that though from the dividing decimal lesson, which we did last time, but that is a little trickier than multiplying,
Yeah.
right? So we're gonna have to move the decimal to the right. And then I don't see a decimal in the 225, so I have to start here at the back of the 5.
Okay.
Move it over, bring it up,
So we're moving.
put a 0 in the empty scoop.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. So that part is kind of tricky. And then,
So 5 will go into
4.
22 4 times. Yeah, so for this one, I might say the other way is better.
yeah, it's definitely more work doing the
25. That's the same.
proportion way.
5. Okay.
We still get the same answer though.
450.
Yeah,
Got
it's still
it.
450.
All right, so then x equals 450.
Good.
Awesome.
Nice job.
Thank
So the next part is did this lesson together. We have part-to-part proportions where we're making 2 equal groups. We have similarity, which we're comparing proportional sides, and scale factor, where we're applying a scale, like a model to actual, like something going from small to big or big to small.
Got it.
We're now going to go ahead and move on to the you try, okay? You do not need to do the you try with me, Miss Curry,
Okay.
and you guys don't either. But please make sure you're doing your you try, and then you'll go grab the key, the color key for this lesson, and check your work before you move on to your practice, okay? I don't have the key in the video today, but you will have the key inside the bucket for lesson number, what was this, 5 or 4? I don't know. This one, this lesson.
So, Miss
Okay.
Hyman, when I'm doing the you try, am I allowed to look back at my notes to help me?
Oh, that's what really good scholars do, yeah, because these
Oh.
match up. So we have part-to-part proportion, which is just like this
Got it,
one.
so I can go back.
Similarity is
Okay.
like this example. Skill factor, skill factor.
Perfect. Okay,
Yeah.
that would make me feel so much better.
Yeah. Yeah, so definitely do your you try. When you know that you're got it, then you'll move on to your practice and you're ready for your quiz on this one. All right, nice job, you guys.
Thank you
Yay,
so
thank
much.
You, Gray.